Good evening and welcome to all the aspirants of Goa SSC, those who are planning to answer this computer-based exam. Start your preparation. I'm there to help you with my unique Telegram channel where I'll be posting all the videos of all the topics which are being asked in the competitive exams. So let's start with the first topic, which is called ratio. Now you can expect 1 to 2 questions from ratio directly coming in mathematical in the maths section, and you can also expect the application of this particular concept in data interpretation. So we'll be doing what data interpretation is. So let's start to understand what ratio is, right? So if I have to define ratio, so ratio is nothing but it is the comparison of two or more than two quantities of same type. What does it mean? It means if I have, let's say, 5 kg of sugar, and if I, let's say, have 200 grams of rice, and if I ask you to find out the ratio of sugar is to rice. So at this point of time, I cannot find the ratio of sugar is to rice. The reason is sugar is in kg while this is in grams. So I have to bring everything under one unit. So either I have to convert everything into grams or I have to convert everything into kg. So now you see, if I convert this 5 kgs into grams, it will be 5000 grams, and second is 200 grams. Here gram cancelled. So remember, ratio does not have any unit, right? Because everything gets cancelled out, and further 2 zeros cancel, and then you're left with 2 and 50, which is 25:1. So ratio is 25/1, which can also be written as 25:1. This is the ratio of sugar is to rice, short form. Now, when I say ratio is ratio of sugar is to rice is 25:1, it also means that the ratio is nothing but the most reduced form of any fraction. If you take any fraction and bring it to the most reducible form, then it is called fraction. For example, if I have two numbers which are in the ratio 10:6, right? So I cannot say that these numbers are in the ratio 10:6. Why? Because I can further reduce this. In what form? I can write this in the form of most reducible form, 5/3, or this can also be written as 5:3. So this is the meaning of ratio first. So I hope definition is clear to all of you. So let's move on to the next part. Let's move on to the next part. The next is types of ratios, right? And in this types of ratio, we'll come to know one particular type of ratio where you will get maximum question in all aptitude based entrance exam. So types of ratios. So let A is to B or A by B. So whether you write A is to B or A by B, that is absolutely correct, are two numbers. Then if I ask you find the duplicate ratio of this, so you need to know what duplicate ratio is. You should also know what is subduplicate ratio. Then you have triplicate ratio. And then you have subtriplicate ratio. So when I say duplicate ratio, do nothing, just take these values and square it. A square is to B square. Just square the values. So suppose we have two numbers which are in the ratio 2:3. If I have to take duplicate ratio of this, DR short form, you take 2 square is to 3 square, which is 4:9. So this is called duplicate ratio. What is subduplicate ratio? You simply take square root of A is to square root of B. Same way, if I have to find out subduplicate ratio of this, so I will simply take this value √2 into √3. Same way, triplicate ratio, if we have to find out, so you take A cube is to B cube. That means for same number, if I have to find out triplicate ratio, I will take 2 cube is to 3 cube. Now 2 cube is 8 and 3 cube is 27. And subtriplicate ratio is nothing but cube root of A is to cube root of B. That is called subtriplicate ratio. So duplicate, subduplicate, triplicate, subtriplicate. This type, there might be one question on this because this is very basics of ratios. I hope this is clear to all of you. You can make a note of it. And let's move on to the next part. Next is called continuous ratio. So what is the meaning of continuous ratio? Let's understand this. Next is continuous ratio. Now this is very important for all of you, right? Understand this. A lot of questions is being asked on this. And then I will explain you the questions based on this by different methods which we have. Whatever method you guys are comfortable, you can go by that method. So first we'll understand what is continuous ratio. For example, if I say let A is to B is 2 is to 3 and B is to C is 3 is to 4. If I say A is to B is 2 is to 3 and B is to C is 3 is to 4, and then I ask you to find out A is to B is to C. So understand, it says that on ratio scale A is 2, and when A is 2, B is 3. And same way on ratio scale when B is 3, C is how much? 4. Means on ratio scale when A is 2, B is 3, but at the same time B is 3, so C is 4. So when A is 2, B is 3, and when B is 3, C is what? 4. Now, of course, they're not going to ask you this easy question, right? So then what type of question they can ask you and then how to approach to that problem, let's try to understand. So if it is given that A is to B is now, let's say 2 is to 3. Now this is another question. And let's say B is to C is, let's say, given as 4 is to 7, right? 4 is to 7. Now on first ratio, if you see A is 2 and B is 3, but on second ratio when B becomes 4, C becomes 7. So in these two ratios, since B is common, but the values of B are not common, so you have to make it equal, right? So how you can make it equal? You can multiply this B, which is 4 here, and multiply second ratio with the value of B with first ratio. So when you do this, what is your A is to B becomes 4 2s are 8 is to 12. And what is B is to C now? It is 3 4s are 12 is to 21. Now you can find out what is A is to B is to C, which is 8 is to 12 is to 21. So now if you pick up A is to B, forget about C. If you pick up A is to B and you take the ratio, forget about C, take the ratio of 8 is to 12 and you cancel it with 4. 4 2s are 8, 4 3s are 12. So done, 2 is to 3. And then when you check B is to C, so this is B and this is C. Again take the ratio of this. So cancel with 3. 3 4s are 12, 3 7s are 21. See, 4 is to 7. So that is how you find out A is to B is to C. Now the question is, what if you have more, right? Instead of two ratios, third ratio is also involved, fourth ratio is also involved. So for that, what you are supposed to do, right? So let me explain you this question, right? This is easy. For two ratios, it is very easy. You can find out this and get the answer. But if we have, let's say, more than two, then what we are supposed to do? So I hope you noted down this. You can pause this video and note it down. Next is continuous ratio. The next part is if A is to B is, let's say, 1 is to 2. I'm just taking some small numbers so that it is easy for you to understand. It is given that let A is to B is 1 is to 2. And let's say B is to C is 3 is to 5. And let's say C is to D is, let's say 2 is to 7, right? Some numbers. And then I am asking you to find A is to B is to C is to D. If you have to find out A is to B is to C is to D. So what you are supposed to do in this case, you first write A is to B is to C is to D. First you write A is to B is to C is to D. Now there are many short tricks for this. What I find it comfortable, because you can solve any type of question, even theory based question on this. So first you can find out the value of A very easily and D very easily. Now how you can find out the value of A? So to find out the value of A, you directly multiply this. All first value multiply, which is 1 into 3 into 2, which is 1 3 is a 3, 3 2 is a 6. And to find out the value of D, that means last value, multiply this. Now you multiply 5 with 2, 10 into 7, which is 70. Now understand how to find out B. So if you look at this particular ratio, what is A is to B is 1 is to 2. It means what? When A is 1 part, B is 2 part. When A is 1 part, B has to be 2 part. So if A is 6, B has to be 12. Suppose you do not get this. So first you write down what is A by B given to you. It is 1 by 2. But A we have found 6. So you write 6 here and then you write B here. This is 1 by 2. And to find out the value of B, take B here, take 2 here. So B ones are B and 6 twos are 12. You'll get this. Now we got A, we got B. Now what is the ratio between B and C? See, B and C is what? 3 is to 5. So again you write B by C, which is 3 by 5. Since we found the value of B, which is 12, you write 12 here, you write C here, you write 3 here, you write 5 here. Now, whenever there is an equal to sign, you can cross numerator. You can cancel numerator with numerator. Understand? You cannot cancel cross. You cannot cancel cross. If there is an equal to sign, you can cancel 3 ones are 3, 3 fours are 12. So now this will be 4 by C is equal to 1 by 5 because it's 1. Now to find out the value of C, take it side, this side. So C is equal to 5 fours are 20. So here you will get 20. And now if you look at the ratio of C is to D, which is 2 is to 7. So 20 is to 70 is nothing but 2 is to 7. So that is how you find out A, B, C, D. I hope this is clear to all of you and you'll be able to do it. Guys. Okay. So please pause this video and take a note of it. Now let us try to understand something called ratio scale and actual scale, a problem based on ratio scale and actual scale, and why in competitive exam your conventional approach will not work. Now what is conventional approach? So conventional approach is basically an approach which we have used in schools, right? Lengthy method, forming the equation and then solving a question. Competitive exam, one thing which you don't have is time. So when you go and answer the paper, you know that how time flies. So you need to know the shortcuts, right, and tricks and techniques. Then only you will be able to clear these entrance exams, right? So I'm taking a very simple question. I will explain you this question by two methods. One is called conventional method, and you see how much time you save. And second is called the shortcuts, right? So I'm writing a question. If salary of A and B is R in the ratio 3 is to, let's say, 4, and total salary of A plus B is, let's say, 28,000. Total salary is 28,000. So how we used to solve this question in school? We used to consider some variable, right? So generally we used to consider, let salary of A is 3x and then salary of B is, let's say, 4x. देखो x तो तुम्हारा पीछा छोड़ेगा नहीं और तुम उसका पीछा नहीं छोड़ रहे हो, चाहे ये x है और दिस x, You fell in love with this and still remembering it. E hata diya bas. So if you really want to get good in maths, you have to forget your x. Not every time you have to remember it. Certain cases, yes. Not always. So now salary of A is 3x and salary of B is 4x. So I will write 3x plus 4x because total salary of A plus B is 28,000. So I'll add it. And now this is 7x, which is equal to 28,000 and x is equal to 4,000. Now once I get A is equal, x is equal to 4,000, then I assume that A is equal to how much? 4x. So 4 into 4,000 and the value of B is 3 into 4,000. So from here we'll get the A ka value is 16,000 and value of B is 12,000. Salary of B is 16 and 12. So is there anything wrong? No, nothing is wrong. Time? Yes, you are going to consume a lot of time. So let us understand. We don't want to get into this variable thing, right? Very often. So there is something called ratio scale and actual scale. Understand, I prepare students for exams like CAT, I prepare students for exams like GBSHSE and banking exam. And believe me, when I teach this method to students, they generally enjoy this method because nobody has ever taught you this school, right? So on ratio scale, there are two people, A and B. On ratio scale, their salaries are 3-part and 4-part. So if I add their salaries on ratio scale, this is coming out to be 7-part. But actual scale pe their salary is 28,000. So on actual scale, their salary is 28,000. If you write 28,000, now you have to multiply 7 with something. This is called multiplying factor. 7 with something, you will get 28,000. So how much you will multiply 7 so that you get 28 first? So 7 fours are 28 followed by 3 zeros. So this 4,000 is called multiplying factor, right? Multiplying factor. So this 4 should also be multiplied with 4,000, which will give you 16,000. And this 3 should also be multiplied with same multiplying factor, which is 4,000, which will give you 12,000. So here your time be reduced. You don't have to involve with x, involve with variables, sorry. And then you can get the answer. Still you will get the answer, right? Much shorter. Here you have to do a lot of calculations. So you can avoid this calculation and still get the answer. I hope this particular question is clear to all of you. Now let's understand some more, right? Type of questions. Let's say, pause this video and you can take a note of this question. Okay. So all the students who are joining the Telegram channel, I'm going to send you one worksheet, right? So you have to finish those worksheets. We'll take up the doubts of that. We'll be soon setting up a WhatsApp community. We can start having doubts over there also or Telegram also. Both is convenient with me. Take this off. Okay. Now let us try to understand one more question. Right. Let's try to understand some simple question here. Let's try to understand a simple question based on this, but more than this is involved. So the question is, okay. So the question is, divide 169 in the ratio. Sorry. Divide 198 in the ratio 2:3:4. Now 3 ratios are there. So you have to divide this how much? 198. In what ratio? 2:3:4. Again, do not involve x. Let's try to solve this question. So one is a ratio scale and second is an actual scale. 3-part. Let's mark these 3-part as ABC. Right? On ratio scale, 1 is 2, 3 and 4. So if you add on ratio scale, this is coming out to be how much? 9. And on actual scale, this total is nothing but 198. 9 2s are 18 and 1 and 9 2s are 18. 22 is the multiplying factor. 9 22s are. Suppose you find difficult how to find a multiplying factor. So divide this actual value 198 with the ratio scale ka total. So 9 2s are 18, 1, 9 2s are 18. That is how you can find it out. So now 22 is your multiplying factor. So multiply 2 also with 22 will give you 44. Multiply 3 also with 22 will give you 66. And multiply 4 also with 22 will give you 88. So that is how you can find out the multiplying factor and then the respective values. That means A will get 44, B will get 66 and C will get 88. I hope this question is clear to all of you. Let's make it a little more difficult. Right? Another question going to take a little more difficult. What is that? Okay. So pause the video and make a note of it. So I'm going to write down another question. Question is divide 169 in the ratio 1 by 2 is to 1 by 3 is to 1 by 4. The moment you have fraction, right? See, we don't like fraction. We don't like decimal numbers. If I ask you to add 2 plus 3 plus 4, you'll simply say answer is 9. But if I ask you to add 1 by 2, 1 by 3 and 1 by 4, you probably have to take, you'll have to do LCM thing and then adding it. And then how to find out the value of these three parts. So one part is 1 by 2, one part is 1 by 3 and third part is 1 by 4. So let us write down first, understand how to do this question. So you write 1 by 2, 1 by 3 and 1 by 4, right? Write them. And find out, in such cases, find out the LCM of all the denominators. Right? Find out the LCM of denominators, which is 2, 3 and 4. Now which is equal to 12. So we'll take up the class of LCM and HCF also. So you'll understand how to find out LCM shortest period of time. So LCM is 12. Now you multiply your 1 by 2 with 12, multiply 1 by 3 also with 12 and multiply 1 by 4 also with 12. So this will give you 6, 4, 3. The ratio is 6 is to 4 is to 3. So we converted this in the ratio 6 is to 4 is to 3. So now write A, B and C and write 6, write 4, write 3. And this is a ratio scale. Understand this? This is a ratio scale and there is an actual scale. So if you add them on ratio scale, this is how much? 13. But an actual scale, their total sum is how much? 169 given in the question because I have to divide 169 into 3 parts, right? So 13 into how much is 169? 13 is 169. 13 into 13 is 169 because we know that square of 13 is 169. So what you can multiply? You multiply 6 also with 13. 13 6 are 28. 13 4s are 52 and 3 4s are, sorry, 13 4 13s are 52 and 3 13s are is 39. Right, so you'll get the answer. So that is how you can find out the individual values. That means first part is 78, second part is 52, third part is 39 and total is 169. You can add it. Sorry, this is 18. Correct, 78. Please note it down. Okay. Next is, I'm taking one question from the worksheet which I'm going to send you guys. The question from this worksheet. question from this worksheet. Let's take some easy question initially. Rupees 680 is divided among A, B, and C such that A gets 2 by 3 times of what B gets, and B gets 1 by 4 of C gets. Then their shares. And then there are 4 options which are given to you. Understand, in aptitude, you can answer the question by using options also. You answer the question by using option also. 75, 325 and 28 first option. Second option has 80, 120, 480. 80, 120 and 480. Third option is 90, 210, 90, 210 and 380. And then we have fourth option in this case is 100, 200 and 380. 380. So which is the answer? We'll have to find it out. First, let's try to understand how to solve this question. Please make a note of it. So let's do the solution of this question. What is given? A gets, A is equal to 2 by 3 times of what B gets. So from here, it is very easy to find out the ratio of A and B. Also, you can say whatever is B, the amount with B will be a multiple of 3 because everyone is getting integer value, right? It means B will always get what? What? Multiple of 3. So this is A. So is this a multiple of 3? No. So I can cancel this option. Is this a multiple of 3? Yes. Is this a multiple of 3? Yes. Is this a multiple of 3? No. So I can cancel out 2 options because the value of B should be a multiple of 3. Then only 3 will be able to cancel it. So that is why second value 325 is not a multiple of 3 and 200 is also not a multiple. So these 2 options are gone. So now you write this as A by B is what ratio? 2 by 3. That means the ratio between A and B is 2:3. If A gets 2 part, B gets 3 part. Now look at the option. I'll tell you the solution also, but I'll tell you the option also. So here, if you cancel 0, 0, 4 2s are 8, 4 3s are 12. Yes. Cancel 0 and 0, 3 3s are 9. See, this is 90 and 210. A is to B. Cancel, cancel. 3 3s are 9, 3 7. So what is the ratio between A and B? 3:7. So that also option is also gone. This option should be your answer. But suppose it were not satisfied, you want to solve it, right? हमारा आदत है कि हम लोग शॉर्टकट पे नहीं जाते, हम लोग पहले लॉन्ग कट ही अपनाते हैं. So we'll write it down like this, and then we'll write down B gets how much? 1/4 of what? C. So from here we'll write B by C is 1 by 4. Basically, I have converted this into what? I have converted this into ratios only. How I have converted this into ratio? So if you see first one, A is to B is how much? 2 is to 3. And what is B is to C is 1 is to 4. So now B is common. See, but B is not common here. So I have to multiply this with 1, which will not make any change, and the second ratio with what? 3. So this will remain 2 is to 3 only, and this will become 3 is to 12. So what is the ratio of A is to B is to C, beta? This is 2 is to 3 is to 12. right? Three fours are 12. 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 18. So I divide 680 with 18, not divisible. That's how they have written 3680 as the question. I think some misprint with the question. 680. There is some misprint with the question. Because summation of this is 600, this is 680. But then if I take this on ratio scale, so this is how much? No, correct. 17 on ratio scale. But actual scale their sum is what? 680. So 17 fours are 68, 40. So 12 into 40, which is 480. 3 into 40, which is 120. And 2 into 40, which is 80. So 80, 120 and 40. I told you initially only the answer is. So you can make out answer from here also by using the options. I hope this one part of ratio is clear to all of you. I'll be sharing with one worksheet with all the students, and you can go through this worksheet, and then we'll start with proportion and variation and partnership. Proportion is small, variation is also very small. They don't ask questions on variation, but still we'll do it. And then partnership, you can expect one question on partnership, which is a concept of ratio only. So stay tuned, and you can always contact me on my given number which I've given you. You can still note down my number. I'm staying in Goa, 88064 85644. Get in touch with me. We'll help you out with your preparation part. Thank you so much.